coming into this year, no one knew his name.
We thought we knew all the big prospects. Luka Doncic, Michael Porter, Marvin Bagley.
But now there's one who stands alone on top as the best prospect.
The hometown kid from Oklahoma.
We call him Trae Young. And welcome back, everyone. It's VFTB, your favorite sports show on YouTube, and we're back with another video.
We took a bit of a break. We got to 900 views last video and thought that deserved a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but we're back with some heat content.
Yeah. All that cloud got to our heads, and now we're back to bring you guys more content.
And today we're going to be talking about college basketball's hottest star, Trae Young.
It might be cold outside with the weather, but Trae Young is lighting it up, bringing the heat to Oklahoma.
Just today against TCU, the number 10 team in the country, coming in undefeated. He put up 39 points, 14 assists.
Yeah. Not only does he score the basketball, but finds his teammates.
Those numbers are ridiculous. He is averaging so far in the season 28.7 points.
Yeah. And 10.4 assists.
10.4 assists.
And those numbers have never been seen in college basketball.
Trae Young is the only guard since the 1993 season, which is when Sports Reference and stats go back to. Shout out to that website. To average at least 25 points and 10 assists.
There's no one even comes close to him.
And he's a freshman.
He's a freshman guard. He's doing things that we haven't seen before, and arguably he might even be better than any of the guards that came into the league last season, like Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. So if we compare their stats, I have them down here. Markelle Fultz put up 23.2 points, 6 assists, shot 65% from the free throw line, and 41% from three.
When we talk about Lonzo Ball, last year's other guard dynamic prospect, 14.6 points, 7.6 assists, 67% from the free throw line, 41% from three. So not only is he shooting, not only is he scoring better and assisting better, his 3-point percentages are right up with them at the 41%, but with 10 attempts per game.
He shoots 10 times a game, that's right.
His free throw percentage is also 86%, which according to a lot of NBA scouts is a better predictor for future success from the 3-point line in the NBA.
Yeah.
Fultz and Ball were in the mid-60s.
Yeah.
So it shows that not only can he shoot with volume, but with efficiency.
Yeah.
Something we haven't seen perhaps when Steph Curry played in college for Davidson. And
this wasn't his first breakout game. This is the first time he's put up these numbers against probably a big team, you would say, in college basketball. But if we look back at some other games this season, he put up 43 points and 7 assists against Oregon, who is no small dog.
Yes.
He put up 26 points and 22 assists against Northeastern, a college basketball record for assists in a game.
Yeah, 2020 games are not very common in college basketball. And that all led up
in the league altogether. When you see a 2020.
And that led up to what we saw today, which is, if your eyes weren't already opened by Trae Young, they are now. The 39 points against the number 10 team in the country, undefeated, conference matchup. This guy might be the best player in the country. Coming into the year, we saw Bagley dominating. But this Trae Young has taken over not only maybe as the best prospect, but the best player.
Yeah, coming into college basketball, he was a 23 ranked prospect coming in by ESPN. I totally forgot about, man, because Marvin Bagley was taking the limelight. We forgot about Michael Porter, who's out for the season. DeAndre Ayton, players like that were getting all the shine.
And all the hype that Doncic was getting back in Europe. This guy, I had no idea who he was from the recruitment process. And I know 23 doesn't sound very low, but when you consider basketball, there's only 5 players on the court. It's not the greatest. I mean, he was flying under the radar a lot. A lot of guys above him who haven't shown as much as he has. He's really taking it into his own and made Oklahoma a contender for the title.
Yeah, every game he plays, he's working on his draft stock. He just keeps going up and up in the mocks. The last mock we checked right before recording, he's at number 3. Who knows? He could even get to the first overall pick, in my opinion.
I think if anything prevents him from getting to the number 1 pick might be his size. Yeah, that's kind of the big negative on him. He's only 6'1", really slender.
He's a slender guy.
Very lean.
But that seems to be the case with a lot of players. And once you come into the league, they seem to be growing into
once
their
they
bodies.
start dedicating themselves fully to working out and being a professional player, not being a student athlete, we could see that improving. It would be interesting to see what teams pounce on Trae Young at the draft. Most drafts seems like the best players are forwards or bigs, with the exception of last season we saw Ball and Fultz. But it'd be interesting to see what team says, I'm going to get me this guard. Yeah. Because it's such a guard-heavy league.
It's a guard-heavy league, and a lot of teams do have their point guards, so it's going to be a tough decision to see where he goes.
It's interesting to see if teams will pass up on the bigs or the forwards, who usually develop a little quicker. They get to their ceiling a little faster than guards. or if they take a chance on this super exciting guy. It reminds me of when Steph Curry got drafted.
Yeah.
That a lot of teams passed on him thinking, oh, he's undersized.
Yeah.
He shoots too much, and then it blew up in their face.
And we're not the only ones talking about Trae Young. Bill Simmons tweeted, I think today, he thinks this is the best guard he's ever seen in college basketball.
Best freshman guard.
The best freshman guard, and Bill Simmons is no little J out there. He's a big time.
He's seen his sports. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he develops as the season goes on. And the big one will definitely be the tournament.
Yeah.
What can he do with Oklahoma in the tournament? We saw Buddy Hield take them to the Final Four and catapult himself as a lottery pick for the same Oklahoma team.
He probably has as much, if not more, hype than Buddy Hield had.
But yeah, and Buddy Hield was a senior.
And he's a freshman. He's doing this as a freshman. Remember that. He's only, 18, 19 years old.
And, you watch his tape, and he looks smooth. He can get to every area of the court, drive the rim at will. His release is quick.
Yeah.
Reminds you a lot of Steph Curry's release.
And he's pulling up from a couple feet behind the
three-point which goes to show you he's not a product of the college line.
Yeah.
Like, he can shoot it from range, just like NBA.
And he's not afraid who's on him. I've seen a couple of moments where he just crosses him up and pulls it up from anywhere, anytime. He does what he wants, and he leads this Oklahoma team.
All right, so all this hype about Trae Young, with what you know now, would you take the chance on him at first overall if you were the team picking and go over Bagley, Doncic, guys that are maybe a little bit more known commodities, or would you take the shot?
See, in my opinion, it really depends who gets the pick. So he's for sure a top 3 prospect. If he falls out of the top 3, at this point, we don't know what else he can do. But at this point, he's a top 3 prospect. That's a lock. But if he goes 1, that I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the team because there's a lot of other prospects that we haven't talked about. Doncic, Bagley, Porter are the big 3 sort of. But Mo Bamba and DeAndre Ayton are 2 bigs that have made their name be heard so far in this draft process.
He seems to be, sorry to interrupt you, one of the prospects that has the least negatives around him. Because Bagley has the negative of he might not have a position in the league.
Yeah.
They're not sure where he's. Doncic, he plays in Europe, so his athleticism, they don't know if he can play in the NBA with everyone else. His speed, athleticism hold him back.
Even though his numbers are a lot better than, say, what Porzingis' numbers were, or all these Euro guys coming out.
Yeah, and he's not even playing in college. He's playing in the 2nd best league in the world.
Yeah, it'll be tough for teams to gauge that because we've seen before when you pass on the guard, like with Steph or Harden, in that same draft really, how it can come backfire when you take the sure bet, but the sure bet doesn't quite have the ceiling.
Yeah.
Trae Young's body, despite the fact that we've seen guards with much smaller frames dominate in the league, his body is a cause for concern.
Yeah.
But the ceiling is best player in the draft.
Yeah, and I think since he's shooting such a great rated 3 and he's shooting at such a high volume, it gives teams assurance to take him in the draft because we've seen guards like Lonzo Ball this season not be able to shoot at all, and that really holds back his game. They're sagging off of him, but if you can't sag off of Trae Young, he has so much space to do.
With that being said, it's going to be a really interesting draft. It didn't quite look like it coming into the year, but now we've got ourselves a draft just as interesting as last year, in my opinion.
Seemed like a top-heavy draft, but prospects keep getting into the top 10. It's going to be a strong draft.
There's no funny dad like LeVar Ball this year, but it's still going to be a great and very entertaining draft. If your team has a pick in the lottery, or you have a trade with a team that has one, you're on the lookout. You're very excited, and you're going to follow these guys. This is a very exciting year for college basketball.
Yeah, that's it. This was VFTB. Thanks for coming back, watching our videos.
Our first of many draft previews.
Hopefully you like the production value being upped, if you've noticed.
Hopefully you noticed.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, thank you.